Peaceful Designs. Can you tell me the origin of the name?
Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said to her, I said, gee, I don't know what to name the store. I said, I have to really dwell on that. And she said, well, how about Peaceful Designs? I said, oh my God, that's it.
Wow. Isn't that cool?
I know it. That was it. There was no question.
Because I have this theory that the present leads the past and the past leads the present. And when we see things, what, like we said, like these little stones, you recognize that. You're like, that sounds like my store, right? And you don't
that was it. And people come in here all the time and say, oh my God, Peaceful Designs, it's a perfect name for your store. So I know I made the right.
So why does it feel peaceful in here?
Because the music I play.
What does the music on?
The spirituality. I didn't turn it on yet, that's why.
No, but that's okay. But it's peaceful in here just right now.
I play old music, you know, Louis Armstrong.
That's
It's just that kind of music that energizes you too. But there's a very spiritual thread that runs through this entire shop. And my pottery is made from grape leaves because grape leaves are very symbolic of wine, and wine is very symbolic of spiritualism. Cardinals that are in here, symbolic of spiritualism. Everything ties together. The fact that I'm a medium, get messages, it just makes perfect sense.
Now, your product selection, so everything is tied together to some degree, whether it's through...
Yes, absolutely. The fragrance. There's a lot of fragrances in here that are very calming. Magnets that I have in jewelry, it's very healing. The oils, essential oils I carry in here, I pick the ones that are very healing to the body. And the pottery is my main thing. That's something that I've done since I was a little girl. Never really achieved what I wanted until I was an adult. But it's been just fantastic to be able to do it, and the response that I get from people, and it's part of home. The clay, we're grounded with Mother Earth.
Right, and I think, that happened. We did a thing at Mumford, the village there, and a guy was doing a little spinning wheel, and it was weird because I had that same thought when I was editing it. And some things never occur to you, I don't think, and I was like, it just never dawned on me my whole life until I was editing the segment with this man doing the spinning wheel and using his hands. I was like, this is as old as we are as species.
Exactly.
And it's as old as the earth. It's this is earth.
Well, see, hand building, what I do, is the most ancient form of building pottery. Because the wheel was invented later.
Right.
So people were making pottery just with their hands, laying it flat, making the shape.
Sure.
So that's what's so awesome about hand building pottery.
Well, your cups too are beautiful. I mean, they're just like in everything. But to a degree, you have to touch every aspect of
Exactly. You touch that pottery piece so many times before you actually put it up to sell.
Right.
It can be 40, 50 times.
And that's
that piece is touched.
Yeah.
And I always pray over my crosses, especially when I make those. And people come back with amazing stories about the comfort crosses that I make, each one individually. And I just enjoy making them.
Now, when the business started, you weren't in both sides of the store, or you were this whole store?
I was in the whole store.
You were in the whole store.
Yeah, I've been here 2 years. Before this, I was in another location. We were only opened on Saturdays, and I was there for about 8 years. Before that, I did craft shows, and I did that for maybe 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
And,
so one thing, again, led to another.
It grew. It just grew. That took that path.
So, but I mean, this whole thing is tied like that. Your product selection, your history, it's all paths. One thing leading to another.
Exactly.
And then you ended up here in this gorgeous town, in this gorgeous building, in this beautiful business.
Yes, I'm right across the street from the farmer's market on Saturday mornings. They're there from 9 to 2. And it's just the most beautiful farmer's market. I started in a farmer's market in Fredonia, And that's where I got my start, and eventually I ended up here. But the farmers market has, besides a lot of the farmers and their produce, has a lot of handmade product. And you can only be there if your product is handmade by you. So a lot of people come over here afterwards and shop here, and it just works out very well. Well, the Thruway exit is just probably a couple miles down the road from Westfield. So you can get into Westfield off the Thruway. We're also very accessible on Route 20. Our main street is Route 20, and just parallel to Route 20 is Route 5 that runs along Lake Erie. So we're very accessible here, and I'm right across from Moore Park, which is where the farmers market is. I'm right next door to popular restaurants here in town, and we've just opened 2 more new restaurants here. So Westfield is just growing by leaps and bounds, yet we're just a small community. So this is a mom and daughter. Kayla and Alexander is the name of their product, and they redo jeans into handbags and flowers that are amazing. They're all done by hand. And you put them in your hair, you put them on your hat, you put them on your tote bag. I had someone come in the shop the other day and bought a black Lincoln bag, and they put a real pretty purple flower on it, and it looks so nice. But you can see all of their wares, and they make all of these by hand. You see the different, now here's a different jean. That's made from jeans, and it's a bracelet. So here's a jean flower. So they make some beautiful things, and but it's a mother-daughter, and they've been doing this for quite some time, and they call it upcycling. So we're real happy to have their product in the shop as well. The boutique area started because there is no clothing in Westfield, and we just have some small selections, something for everybody, and it's been selling very well. We have our summer line and then our fall and winter line, and lots of scarves. We have embroidered linens that are absolutely gorgeous. They're laser cut, machine washable. We have some t-shirts that represent the different areas around here, and we have pottery that I hand build, and I've been doing that for about 15 years now. And it's very popular because it's part of home. It's grape leaf pottery. I also do doily pottery, which is made with actual doilies that my grandmother and mother crocheted, and a few of them I did. We have a lot of jewelry. A lot of the jewelry I make, I try and make sure that most of it's stainless steel because it lasts forever and it's inexpensive. And we have essential oils that are important to our health. I have slumped wine bottles that my daughter makes up, and they're absolutely gorgeous. People buy them for hostess gifts or wedding gifts or just to have for themselves. They represent football teams, baseball teams, your favorite wine or liquor, whatever you like. We have stone art that another daughter of mine makes up, very beautiful, made from beach driftwood from Lake Erie and stones from the beach. We have upscaled products from a mother-daughter team that remake a lot of the product that they have. Beautiful line, people love it. We carry some wax melts that are made in Ohio, and the fragrances are absolutely gorgeous. They're made with soy. They last forever. It's called Swan Creek. People love them. They recognize them. We also have Stefanelli's candies from Erie, Pennsylvania. Best candy ever. And, we have some local products here. We have birdhouses made by a gentleman who is just so thrilled to be able to have something to do and make his birdhouses with spark plug perches. And we have postcards that are made by Jill Santee here in Westfield, and they're absolutely beautiful photos that she has. We have different note cards that are made up by a woman goes by Rebecca, and she does even Sasquatch because, Sasquatch was seen at Chautauqua Lake, so we have to go with that. We have sauces and spaghetti sauces and chicken wing sauce that is named Sasquatch sauce in honor of Sasquatch. So we even have Sasquatch in the store, so you come down and get your picture with him. And we do a lot of celebration because of Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. His beard was grown because of a young girl, Grace Bedell, from Westfield, who wrote him a letter and told him that she'd try and get her brother and father to vote for him if he would grow that beard. And sure enough, he did. Came to Westfield to thank her for it. So there's a lot to celebrate here, and we have an awful lot of history. And it's just a beautiful little town. And I love my shop. I've wanted to do something like this since I was just a little girl, and here it is. This is one of my pottery pieces that I make. It's all stoneware, so it can go in the oven, microwave, dishwasher. This is actually a grape leaf, and you can see all the veining in it. And I feel that this is very spiritual because no one can create that kind of veining in anything but those grape leaves, and we know who makes those grape leaves. So anyway, on the back I try and make them decorative too. This mark on the pottery is my ring. That's how I stamp all my pottery to recognize what it is. And then if it's a grape leaf piece, I also add little berries so you know that it's grape leaf. And of course the bottom is always a little bit different. This one too, I'm sure it's a little bit different again. Little grape bunches. But I try and, when I look at any kind of pottery myself, I always look at the bottom just to see what it's like, and I try and make mine a little bit of a surprise. But all the pottery that I do, I encourage people, please use it. Now, I can't use it, it's just too pretty. No, you can put some corn in there, put some asparagus in there, heat it up in the microwave, because they're absolutely functional pieces. To make pottery that's just decorative, it's got to be functional too. And that's how I like to make it all up. So I also have a sporting goods department here that's probably about 3 feet wide and 7 feet tall. But my dad, Joe Vicani, was in the sporting goods business all his life, and he could sell snow to the Eskimos. So in his memory, I just have some fishing lures and fishing poles and a few little things back there. And I know he's smiling when he sees that, because that's what he sold, and he had just so much more, boats and motors, and he was amazing. And I just loved to stand next to him and hear him sell, because he was amazing. But that's our sporting goods department. Oh, yes, and we have a baby department, which is probably about the same size. But everything is small, but we have a little bit of everything. But the sporting goods department is just real special to me because my dad was special, so.
So when did you first realize you had the ability to see like you do?
Well, I think I always knew, but when my dad passed, I was just so compelled to see that he was okay. And that's when I started going to Lilydale, and that was many years ago. And I started seeing a lot more things, because everyone has that ability. You just have to.
Being human.
Yeah, but you have to be very sensitive too.
Right.
And that sensitivity is what taps you in.
But we
to
try
what
to
you
take
hear.
the sensitivity out of kids.
Yeah.
And are in society and life. And I'm telling you right now, like I talk about this a lot actually, because you have to hold on to that. That's your heart.
Exactly.
And that's what makes you human. And it allows you to.
It gives the compassion and the understanding. And kids today have lost so much already. Their creativity,
Community.
because this is all that they do. And
sense of place,
yeah.
a sense of family a lot of times, a sense of community, a sense of purpose.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing it in such a steep incline.
Yeah.
It's not like when I was a kid, I kind of saw a little bit of this and I thought it was going to be gradual. It has happened in like a generation where we went from like, okay, we're still kind of connected to our past and connected to our forebears and to just like this precipice. And I'm like, why is this happening? How can you? And we wonder why kids have so many freaking problems now.
That's right.
Because you can't. You're still a monkey. You're still a human. Do you know what I mean? Like we're still animals, and we still need that connection. We're human beings. We live, we breathe, we touch, we feel.
Exactly.
And we're getting so detached from all that. And you see that. I mean, being a single guy, I stopped. I mean, I'm busy anyways, but I stopped dating completely a couple. I was like, there's no way. This is madness now. I don't even know who I'm dealing with anymore.
I know.
You know, you can't even like
Exactly.
connect with people.
Yep.
Everybody's just like autonomously like.
I know.